A tremendous day for the Baldwin-Wallace Yellow Jackets, winning their 5th game of the season today over Capital by a final score of 52-34. Along with Nick Rizzo, I'm Brendan Gulick here at George Finney Stadium. The game just wrapped up and it was the best offensive game of the year. The Yellow Jackets ran up 630 yards of total offense. It started early. Both teams got off to a hot start. We thought maybe this was going to be an offensive shootout, but it turned into the kind of game where BW just ran away with it.
No, absolutely. We talked about before the game, some keys would be the trenches and execution. That definitely is what happened. The offensive line for BW played phenomenal. They gave up 0 sacks, which was incredible to do in the first place. Usually someone has a blown assignment or they just get lucky and guess right. That didn't happen at all today. As a unit, they rushing the ball, they hit their keys and everything. Almost 8 yards per carry that BW rushed today. That unit just played phenomenal together.
They are going to take, as a unit, they're going to take our place today as the player of the game. It's kind of funny. You talk about the game being won and lost in the trenches. It's hard to feel that way when there's a game with so much offense. But BW's balance today on the offensive side proved to be too hard to stop, and defensively, after Thomas Wibbler, who's a great quarterback for Capital, after he started completing 11 of his first 12 passes for 130 yards, all of a sudden BW's defensive line threw some different looks at him, and on the defensive side of the ball, the line stepped up and Wibbler had no answer.
No, they did a great job. Even when they didn't get pressure, their pressure previously affected the quarterback, which got him scrambling. And then with that 3-man look that they ran in the second half, the Capital's offensive line really had trouble with that. I don't know if they were just miscommunicating or what. 5 should always beat 3, but in that case, BW just had their number when it came to that, and it affected the quarterback and the offensive line psyche.
Yeah, both sides of the football today, BW did extremely well. On the defensive side, a tip of the cap to Trip Washington. 9 tackles, 2 interceptions, a fun day for him. He played very well in the secondary. Some individual numbers for you. It was a great day running the football for Austin Smith, although he had 60 of his 131 yards on one big, long touchdown run early in the game. Jake Hudson, 255 yards through the air and a couple of scores. 3 different wide receivers catching touchdown passes with Steinwalks, Wolfington, and Greer all finding the end zone. And BW just found a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Thomas Wibbler for the Capital Crusaders. 4 touchdowns today, 20 of 35. But remember, he started 11 of 12 before he kind of got slowed down. Capital ran the football pretty well early on. Hargrove really was effective in that first quarter, but finished with just 69 yards after a good start to the game. Wibbler ended up running for 42 yards, and most of them it felt like he was running for his life. But it was the receiving tandem of David Barnett and Dartavius Stanford that continues to help Capital put up big yard totals. They combined for 13 catches and 239 yards and 4 touchdowns. Look, when Wibbler is throwing the ball well and he's got those 2 targets to get the ball to, I know it's frustrating for Capital fans at 1-7, but you have to believe that they are on the verge of turning the corner.
I mean, especially with those numbers after just transitioning from a triple option team, there's a lot to look forward to. Coaches are putting a good system in place. They're building very well. The record might not show it. It doesn't always do it when you're rebuilding, but the talent is going to be there.
Well, the OAC in a lot of ways this year has been turned on its head because there are several surprise stories across the conference. One of them, the Marietta Pioneers. They've won their 3rd in a row today. They are now 5-3, as are the Yellow Jackets. It's great to see BW back. At worst, they'll be 5-5. They've got 2 more chances at the end of the year. They could go as well as 7-3 at the end of the regular season, and technically still in search of a conference title. Again, your final score, Baldwin-Wallace 52, Capital 34. For Nick Rizzo, I'm Brendan Gulick. Glad to have you, and we'll see you next time on BWYellowJackets.com.